Have you ever looked at someone and thought, how are they still glowing like that? Not just youthful skin, but something in their presence, their energy, their lightness, as if time doesn't touch them. We often assume it's great, skincare, expensive products, or lucky genetics. But what if the secret isn't on their face, but buried deep in their mindset? Because in today's world, where chronic stress is aging people in their 30s to look like they're in their 50s, there's a rare kind of person who moves through life with something different. A kind of glow that science has been trying to explain for decades. If people have ever told you, wow, you don't look your age, this video is for you. Because that comment isn't just a compliment, it's a clue, a psychological signal that you may be doing something, perhaps without even knowing it, that's protecting your body, preserving your energy, and keeping you young in ways no cream ever could. This video is about that deeper truth, the unseen reasons why some people age faster and others seem to move through life untouched by time. And if you're ready to understand not just your skin but your soul, hit that like button, tap subscribe, and let's get into the truth nobody talks about. Sign 1. They let go of things easily. Have you ever met someone who's been through absolute hell, loss, betrayal, heartbreak, yet still carries this strange peace about them? Their face soft, their smile genuine, their presence calm, almost serene. It's not luck. It's not makeup. And it's definitely not just genetics. It's something much deeper. They've learned how to let go. You see, people who forgive easily, who don't carry old resentment, don't just feel lighter emotionally, they actually look younger. Why? Because emotional pain that we carry for years shows up in our bodies. You can see it in the clenched jaw, the tightness around the eyes, the tension in the shoulders. Bitterness leaves a physical mark. It embeds itself into our expressions, our posture, even our skin. People who replay the same betrayals, who hold on to grudges, who stay stuck in emotional loops, age faster. Not because of time, but because of what they carry. Wrinkles don't just come from birthdays. They come from years of tight muscles, sleepless nights, stress-filled thoughts. The truth is, you age faster when you're angry. You age faster when you're bitter. You age faster when you let your past consume your present. But those who choose to let go, even after they've been deeply hurt, carry an entirely different energy. Their body is free. Their mind is light. Their face reflects that inner release. Letting go doesn't mean pretending it didn't happen. It means you've made the decision not to carry it anymore. And that decision, that freedom, shows. Their eyes sparkle differently. Their skin breathes easier. Their smile returns, this time real. Because here's the truth most people miss. You don't carry age in your body. You carry pain. And the less pain you hold, the younger and freer you begin to look. So, if you want to turn back the clock, don't just look for the next anti-aging product. Start by releasing the weight you were never meant to carry. Let go, not for them, for you. Because your face is telling a story. And when that story is peace, your youth becomes undeniable. When you hold on to pain, to betrayal, anger, resentment, your body keeps the score, and that mental loop of replaying what hurt you, it becomes a silent poison. But those who choose to let go, even when the pain runs deep, carry a completely different vibration. Their thoughts are lighter. Their body is more at ease. And that freedom, that release, shows up on their face. Letting go doesn't mean pretending nothing happened. It doesn't mean forgetting. It means you refuse to let it control your peace any longer. That shift in power, it reflects through your skin. Your complexion changes. Your eyes regain their shine. Your smile becomes softer, more real. You don't just look younger, you feel it. Here's what most people don't realize. You're not carrying years in your face. You're carrying pain, and the less pain you hold, the lighter your energy becomes, and the more youthful you appear. So if you're still searching for the latest serum, the perfect skincare routine, the next miracle cream, pause. Because maybe it's not something you need to apply. Maybe it's something you need to release. Let go. Not for them, for you, because your face is telling a story. And when that story is peace, your youth becomes undeniable. Sign 2, they stay curious. Like a child now, let's talk about something most people overlook. But it's one of the most powerful traits of those who age gracefully. Curiosity. Have you ever watched a child explore the world? Their eyes wide with wonder, asking questions about everything they see, constantly reaching, learning, discovering. That spark isn't just cute, it's powerful. And if you look closely, you'll notice that people who look younger than their age still carry that spark. They've never let it fade. They stay curious, they ask questions. They want to know how things work, why people behave the way they do, what else the world has to offer. They refuse to go numb. They reject becoming robotic. Psychology calls this a flexible mind. It's a mind that stays open, that adapts, that never stops growing. And here's where it gets fascinating. That kind of mental energy, it affects the body. When your mind is alive, your cells respond. Your energy becomes magnetic. Your eyes glow. You radiate something people can't quite explain. You radiate youth. But there's a dark side. Most people lose their curiosity as they age. They get stuck in routine, trapped in the same thought loops, living on autopilot. They stop learning. Stop dreaming, stop questioning, and that's when aging speeds up, not just in their skin, but in their soul. Life becomes heavy, predictable, dull, and you can see it on their face. The sparkle disappears, the world feels small, and they start looking old, not because of age, but because they've stopped growing. That's what truly causes people to age. But those who remain curious, who continue to ask, explore, imagine, they stay mentally sharp, emotionally alive, spiritually hungry. Whether they're 25 or 65, they still wonder, they still play, they still ask why. And because of that, their energy feels light, youthful, magnetic. Their face doesn't carry the weight of routine boredom. Their posture isn't hunched by mental fatigue. Their smile is real, and their eyes sparkle. They laugh easily. They embrace the unknown. And their presence, unforgettable. So here's the truth. Curiosity isn't just a habit. It's your fountain of youth. The moment you stop exploring, stop learning, stop wondering, is the exact moment you begin to age. So, stay curious, stay alive, stay ageless. Sign 3, they don't live to please everyone. Now let's move from the mind to the emotional weight many people carry without even realizing it. Let's talk about people pleasing. If you're constantly bending over, backward to make everyone happy, saying yes when you want to scream no, smiling while your heart is breaking, shrinking yourself just to avoid conflict or judgment, let me tell you something that may sting a little. You're not just losing your peace. You're aging faster than you realize. People who live to please others carry a silent, chronic stress, a pressure that builds up slowly but surely, and over time. It shows. You can see it in their tired eyes, in the stiffness of their posture, in the forced, polite smiles that never quite reach the soul. That emotional exhaustion turns into physical tension. Chronic people-pleasing becomes chronic fatigue. It creates inflammation, disrupts sleep, and yes, it affects how you look. Eventually, it shows up on your face, in the form of premature wrinkles, dull skin, and a tired, dim energy. On the outside, they seem agreeable, easy to be around, but on the inside they're suffocating, drained, worn out, and that exhaustion, it ages them. It steals the glow from their skin and the light from their soul. Now compare that to people who live authentically. They don't say yes just to avoid disappointing others. They don't let others define how they should act, look, or speak. They have the courage to be misunderstood, disliked, even rejected. Why? Because they've learned something powerful. Inner peace is more valuable than external approval. And here's a secret most people don't know. Peace is powerful. Peace relaxes your jaw, smooths your forehead, slows your breath, regulates your nervous system. It literally preserves your youth. Authentic people don't carry fake smiles or hidden tension. They're not constantly bracing for someone else's opinion. Instead, they walk with calm. They speak with clarity, and their body reflects that freedom. That kind of authenticity, being unapologetically real, unapologetically you, creates a natural beauty that no skincare routine can match. It shows. It shows in the way you walk, in the softness of your face, in the glow that follows you into every room. So ask yourself, are you aging because you're afraid to disappoint someone? Are you trading your peace, your spark, your youth, just to keep everyone else comfortable? Because once you stop living to please, you start living free. And that freedom, it radiates. It transforms your posture, your expression, your presence. Here's the truth. The most radiant, youthful people you'll ever meet aren't the ones trying to be perfect. They're the ones brave enough to be real. Sign 4, they know how to play. Now let's talk about one of the most underrated, yet powerful, habits of people who seem to age in reverse. They know how to play. Let's be clear. Getting older doesn't mean you have to stop being playful. In fact, if you look closely at the people who seem to defy age, you'll notice something they all have in common. They never let go of their inner child. In today's world, adulthood often feels like a heavy cage, deadlines, responsibilities, bills, stress. Somewhere along the way, we were told, grow up. Stop being silly. Take life seriously. And in trying to appear mature, we buried one of our most powerful tools for joy, energy, and longevity, the ability to play. But some people, they never let that part of themselves die. They still laugh loudly. They dance like nobody's watching. They sing badly and love every second of it. They find magic in tiny, ordinary moments. And that's what makes them stand out. They carry a certain lightness, a sparkle, an energy so magnetic that you can't help but wonder, how do they look so alive? Psychologists call this the inner child effect. It's about staying connected to the version of yourself that existed before the world taught you shame, fear, or pressure. And here's where it gets fascinating. When you laugh, your brain floods with dopamine and endorphins. When you play, your stress levels drop. Your muscles relax. Your immune system strengthens. Your face softens. Your body feels safe. And when your body feels safe, it doesn't rush to age. It doesn't cling to stress in your skin. It doesn't tense up in your joints. It thrives. Play resets your entire system. But sadly, many people forget how to play. They stop laughing. They suppress joy because they think it's childish. And that's when the real aging begins, not just in their face, but in their soul. You can see it in their eyes. They've stopped living, and now they're just surviving. But those who remember how to play, who let their laughter echo freely, who chase joy without apology, they don't just look young, they feel alive. We explored how keeping your inner child alive doesn't just spark joy. It's one of the most powerful ways to maintain a timeless, youthful energy. Now, let's dive into a factor that silently affects how you look every single day, how you handle stress. Sign 5. They manage stress better than most. Here's something most people never think about. It's not stress that ages you, it's how you carry it. When you see someone who looks younger than their actual age, it's tempting to assume they've had it easy, that their life has been smooth, drama-free, peaceful. But that's rarely the case. They face storms too, just like everyone else. The difference lies in how they respond. They've mastered something powerful: emotional self-regulation. They don't fall apart when things get hard. They don't let outside chaos become inner destruction. They've trained their mind to stay centered, to breathe through pressure, to let go when things are beyond their control. And that inner calm, that emotional control, it becomes their shield. Why does this matter for looking young? Because stress doesn't just live in your head, it shows up in your body. Chronic stress floods your system with cortisol, a hormone that literally breaks down collagen, weakens your immune system, disrupts your sleep, and makes you look exhausted even when you're doing nothing. It's like pouring acid on your youth, from the inside out. But those who manage stress well, their skin doesn't sag under constant tension. Their eyes aren't puffy from sleepless nights. Their body isn't inflamed or chronically fatigued. They know how to decompress without falling apart. They protect their peace like it's sacred, because it is. Here's the reality most people avoid. Stress isn't optional, but how you handle it, that's entirely up to you. And most people, they let stress own them. They overthink, they overreact, they obsess. They spiral emotionally over every little thing, and every day they live like this. They age a little faster, in their face, in their energy, in their health. But the ones who age slower, the ones who walk into a room glowing, they've learned this: you can't always control what happens, but you can absolutely control your response. And that self-mastery, that peace, it doesn't just make them stronger inside. It keeps them looking years younger on the outside. So if you want to preserve your youth, don't just fix your skin. Fix your reaction to life. Because a peaceful mind will always give you a younger face. The people who age slower have cracked the code. They've learned that while they can't prevent life from throwing curveballs, they can absolutely choose how they respond. And that choice, that mindset of calm, that self-mastery, does more than just keep them emotionally grounded. It preserves their youth. They carry less stress in their face, less tension in their body, less chaos in their energy. So if you truly want to look younger, don't just treat your skin. Treat your mindset. Don't just apply creams. Apply perspective, because a peaceful mind will always give you a youthful face. Sign 6. They see the bigger picture. Now let's talk about another key that most people overlook: thinking bigger. You know what really drains people? It's not just age, not just work, not even physical exhaustion. It's being stuck in small thinking. Most people live in a loop of emotional reactivity. Someone says something rude, a plan doesn't go their way, a person disappoints them. And what do? They stew. They replay it in their mind over and over, complaining, obsessing, internalizing it like a broken record. They let the smallest hiccup consume their entire day. But the people who look younger, they think differently. They've trained their minds to zoom out, to see the big picture, to understand that one bad moment doesn't equal a bad life. They know that not everything deserves their energy. Not every insult is worth a reaction. Not every problem needs to be carried like a burden, holding on to every little frustration, every failure, every regret. It's like dragging around a backpack full of bricks. You get heavier, slower, older. But those who live with purpose, clarity, and vision, they see life from a higher perspective. And here's what psychology tells us. People who live with direction and long-term focus are not only mentally healthier, they're physically more resilient. Because when your mind is healthy, your body responds, stress levels drop, aging slows down, your focus sharpens, your spirit stays alive. You literally carry less emotional weight. And that shows in your posture, your face, your energy. Let's be honest. When was the last time someone obsessed with drama looked radiant, calm, and glowing? Almost never. But those who think long-term, who stay grounded in their goals, who rise above the noise of daily chaos, they walk differently. They breathe easier. They radiate calm. Sure, they face the same storms, but they don't let those storms define them. That's what gives them a kind of quiet power, an unshakable grace, a timeless presence. They're not thrown off course by gossip, drama, or chaos. They're not addicted to urgency or fear. They're anchored in something deeper: growth, meaning, legacy. And that level of thinking doesn't just make them wise, it keeps them young. So, if you truly want to look and feel younger, train your mind to stop zooming in on everything that's wrong. Step back, zoom out, think bigger. Because people with vision, they age differently, they age better. Sign 7. They don't let the world steal their joy. And finally, the last and perhaps most powerful truth of all. If there's one thing more effective than any cream, serum, supplement, or skincare routine, it's joy. Not the kind of joy that comes from a good day or a lucky break. Not the surface-level smile for a social media post. I'm talking about real, untouchable, unstoppable joy. The kind that lives deep in your chest, that refuses to die even when the world feels dark. The kind of joy that people who look years younger than their age seem to radiate effortlessly. They haven't let pain harden them. They haven't let the world's cruelty rob them of their softness. Instead, they've made a decision, a radical, intentional choice to protect their joy like their life depends on it. Because in many ways, it does, and science agrees. Joy releases serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, the brain's natural youth serum. It reduces inflammation. It strengthens your immune system. It improves your sleep. It even boosts the glow of your skin. In simple terms, joy makes your cells come alive. But here's the heartbreaking truth. Most people let the world steal it. They scroll through misery, feed on outrage, carry emotional burdens they can't control, and slowly that light begins to fade. They stop laughing from the belly, stop dancing in the kitchen, stop smiling for no reason. And you can see it, not just in their face, but in their spirit. But those who guard their joy, those who laugh out loud without needing permission, who find beauty in chaos, who protect their peace like it's sacred, They shine, not because their life is perfect, but because they've decided, my joy is mine, and no one gets to take it from me. And that kind of joy, you can't fake it, you can't bottle it. But when it's real, it shows. It shows in your smile, in your eyes, in your energy. So if you want to look and feel younger, stop chasing quick fixes. Start with joy. Because joy is the fountain of youth that the world has forgotten. So if someone has ever told you, you don't look your age, understand. It's not just luck. It's a reflection of how your mind is wired, how your soul chooses to live. And if you haven't heard those words yet, don't worry, because now you know the truth. And you can begin today, rewiring your thoughts, protecting your peace, and reclaiming your joy. Because the most powerful anti-aging secret isn't in a bottle, it's in your mind. If this video gave you clarity, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who needs this message today. Let's keep growing together, not just older, but wiser, stronger, and more radiant than ever. This is your time. Stay young, stay powerful, and I'll see you in the next one.